In the African American community, there's a struggle with trying to maintain money, success, determination, and just trying to make it. In life, people go through things and they try their best to get over it. In the African American communities, things are a little bit harder for blacks. My project is designed to show what has happened and what is going on in the African American community. What I want to do is try to give a backside and a front side of what's going on. African Americans can make it just like any other race, but African Americans have to try a little harder. They have to push themselves more than most races. African Americans are more likely to be food insecure and live in poverty than other Americans. Being food insecure, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, means that a person or household does not have regular, reliable access to food needs for good health. This condition is a direct result of poverty, racial discrimination, and gender discrimination. While the United States has a poverty rate of 14.8%, according to the U.S. Census, African Americans have a poverty rate of more than 24%. This rate is even higher in the African American female head household at 45.7%. I got a chance to sit down with Carnell Styles, the Director of Development and Retail Sales for Savannah Inc. Mission.
My name is Carnell Styles. I am the Director of Development and Retail Sales for the Old Savannah City Mission. I have been working at the Old Savannah City Mission for almost 15 years. And I was first hired as their Development Director, and later on assumed the responsibilities of setting up and managing the retail segment of the Old Savannah City Mission. The mission of the Old Savannah City Mission is to proclaim the gospel by feeding the hungry, sheltering the homeless, rehabilitating the addict, and restoring the ex-offender. You may ask, well, how do you do this? We feel that we can best reach people who are down and out by first giving them a good hot meal and providing a place for them to stay when they are at their bottom. We have a saying that our friends and neighbors, we don't call them homeless, our friends and neighbors can be reached when they are sick and tired of being sick and tired, when they are mature in their misery. That's when they are most likely to reach out to that hand that is stretched out to them to pull them up out of poverty and homelessness.
Next, here's Charles Jackson. He is the team leader of Old Savannah Admissions. He has a story he has to tell, and he has a little bit more information for the poverty and African American community.
Born and raised from Miami, Florida. As we spoke earlier, I told you in reference to how all those things that I just mentioned a second ago in reference to graduating from college and being successful in the corporate world and also becoming a professional athlete, I consider those things as the tainted things in my life, because at that moment and at that time I thought I had made it and I thought that there was nothing but success from that point on. But when I began to live that life and without the spiritual growth and foundation that is needed to keep myself rooted and grounded, it led me to using alcohol and using drugs. But I thank God now that He allowed those things to be a part of my teaching, my growth in Him, because without those things, I would not have been on my knees to pray and ask Him, knowing that this is not the type of life that I want. So you deal with a lot of attitudes and characters that comes in because, you know, they feel like nobody cares for them. They feel like they've hit rock bottom and there's no way out. And to be able to minister unto them by showing my service, of showing that I care. I could care less how much drugs, how much alcohol you've dealt with. I could care less of where you're sleeping at. Come and be serviced by the mission through our servicing that we provide on a daily basis, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Here is an individual who has taken advantage of the service at the Old Savannah Admissions.
Basically, just call me Slash Everything. From answering the phone, helping in the kitchen, basically just do a little bit of everything. Okay. Well, since I came to the mission, I'm trying to change my way of thinking. I'm 60 years old. So basically that's what it is, changed my way of thinking. Before I came, you know, I had a way. If I didn't do it, you know, it just wouldn't be done. I just didn't believe in spirituality. You know, if I couldn't see it, touch it, or feel it. But then I got older. You know, just certain small things just started happening for me. And my way of thinking, like I say, started changing. I just really wanted to find out why was it changing. Because once upon a time, if I found some money on the ground, I wouldn't look for the owner. You know, plain and simple. And that, you know, little simple stuff like that. I thought I was going crazy, but just trying to get my spirituality. Because one time they used to come through that door, my way of thinking was, don't try to make your problem my problem. You know, plain and simple, and cut it off. But now, you know, I sit down and listen to someone, you know, see if I can help any way I can.
Next up, I got Gregory Young. He's the cook at the Old Savannah Submissions, and this is what he had to say.
The cook. I run the kitchen.
People that need help and who are receiving the food from you, how does it make you feel when you're giving the food to the people and helping?
Well, here we don't call them homeless. We call them friends and neighbors, and that's what they are. They are neighbors because I'm one of them. I'm still one of them. You know, myself, I was homeless for 30 years in a small town where, you know, when you're homeless, you're homeless. We don't have the resources like these people have, and it's a way of giving back. You know, having been there, I know what they're going through. I know what it's like to carry everything that you own on your back, and what you have to go through when you lose it. So we offer an opportunity for them to come out of that for a while.
Yvonne Pryor, Executive Director of the City Night Shelter.
My name is Yvonne Pryor. That's YVONNE PRYOR. I am the Executive Director of Inner City Night Shelter. I handle the administrative side of the shelter. From the view of homelessness, I'll first say that the homeless count in our community, roughly 65% of the homeless population are African American people, and the majority of that would be African American males. I cannot speculate as to the reasoning behind it, but that does get my attention of such high percentage.
Also from the Inner City Night Shelter, I got a chance to sit down with Lewis Williams. He is the case manager.
Yes, my name is Lewis Williams, case manager at the Inner City Night Shelter. Okay. I would think that in order to come out of being in poverty, folks would have to go through the educational process, of course, and learn what all can be learned. Starting at the elementary level and going through high school, and eventually going into college where you can get your bachelor's degree and then moving on to a master's degree.